Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to convert image to a video in React Native's new architecture for Android using the Media3 transformer library. So let's get started. So firstly I'll show you guys the output. So here is my app running on a real device. I'm just using Android Studio to mirror my device. I'll just click on pick image and it will show the image picker for me. I'll just select the first image, and if you see my Metro bundler, okay, not Metro bundler, ignore that, but here you can see it has converted to a video. It is just a 3-second long video, as you can see over here, and I can just go to the file explorer as well. So here you can see this is my file explorer, and the video is also saved to file explorer, so the user can use it. The first video user can use it whenever he or she feels like, even outside our app. So yeah, that's the advantage. Also there is something called progress state, which I will talk about later on. But anyways, so firstly what you will have to do is you will have to open this particular documentation, because we will be using this turbo module. We'll be creating a turbo module, so we'll have to write some native code. So firstly it tells that create a React Native project. Again, you don't have to hard code this version, you can use the latest version, and you can change this name to whatever you feel like. I have just named it as test app, so I have created one project. Once you create the project, inside package.json we have to install few dependencies. So firstly you have to do npm install React Native image picker, and also npm install React Native video. So React Native image picker for picking the image, and once the image has been picked, we'll send the image URI path to native Android side. It will convert to a video and send the video which is saved to external storage, the URI of the video, back to React Native side, and React Native video will help us to play that video. So make sure you install these two dependencies. Once you install these two dependencies, if you see over here, again ignore iOS, we are only concentrating on Android. So here it tells us that create a specs folder. So that's what I have done over here. I have just created one specs folder. Inside that they are telling create this particular file. Now I have just changed the name of our file because native local storage does not make sense in our case. So I have given this name as native transform video.ts. Now make sure you add the word native at the very start, and remember this name because we will be using this name in lot other places as well, whatever name of file you give. So next I have just copied this everything and I pasted it over here, but I don't want all these methods, right? I only want one method. So I have defined one method which takes the value. So this will be the image URI which the user will select, and it will return the URI of the transform video. So that's what we are returning over here, and the name of this particular thing should be native transform video. It can't be native local storage because that is the name of my file, native transform video. So that's what I'm using it over here. Once that is done, here you can see inside package.json we'll have to add this particular bit of code. So if you see, I will go to package.json and I have already added that particular bit of code. Again, you will have to replace native local storage with native transform video. Make sure you add spec also over here, and here also native transform video. So these two things you have to do. Then you will just have to go to root of your project and just do npm install. I have already done it, so I won't doing it. We just have to do npm install because we have changed the package.json. Once that is done, okay, then you will have to cd to the Android folder. So just cd to the main Android folder, and then you will have to copy this particular command and just paste it over here. Again, I have already run this command, so I won't run it again. So this will basically do code generation for the TypeScript file which we have created. Now first we'll see how to use it. Later on we'll check the implementation. So here you can see I have imported React Native video. I've imported use state from React. I've also imported launch image library, and I also imported this native transform video which we have created inside the specs folder. Next I have just created one state for getting the, once we get the URI back from native Android side, and here is our button. So just called pick image, and so here we are just launching the image picker on click of the button. And once we have the image, so if the length is greater than 0, we are just calling native transform video dot transform video method, which we have defined it inside this TypeScript file, and just pass the URI of the picked image. And this URL, once the transformation has been successful, we will get the video URL. We just assign it to our state set video URL, and if this video URI is not equal to empty, That means we can display our video component by passing the video URI, and here I'm assigning the style of width 100%, height 50%, and I'm also using this controls just to display the controls, but yeah, you can use whatever you feel like. Yeah, that's it on the app.tsx side. Next, if you see the documentation, so yeah, I have already shown you this. Then for Android, we have to create this particular folder. Inside that we have to create this particular file. Again, the name will be changed, so you will have to go to the main Android folder, go to app, src, main, java, com, and inside com you will have to create a folder called native transform video. Again, this name should match what you have defined it for your TypeScript file, so make sure you create that. Inside that, create just a file called native transform video.kt. Now this will have the actual implementation. I'll just close what I have already shown you. So this will actually contain the implementation. Now we can't just copy paste all this implementation. This implementation is for storing key value pairs, but in our case we want to transform the video, right? Before I show you this, you will also have to go to this build.gradle file. You will have to scroll down over here and make sure, oh, I think I added it twice. You don't need something like this, you can just add something like this. Okay, so here you can see inside the dependencies block you will have to add this Android X Media3 common 1.5.0 as well as Android X Media3 transformer 1.5.0. so make sure you add these two dependencies as well. Next, again coming back to our native transform video module.kt, now make sure you add the correct package name. Whatever is your folder name, you will have to add it over here. Now these are all the imports. I can't really help it, but yeah, you can just pause the video and copy paste all the imports which I have, or a better what you can do is you can open the Android folder inside Android Studio and then search for this native transform video module.kt and start writing the code, and Android Studio will automatically give you all the imports for you. But I don't want to go into that because most of you will be using VS Code, that's why. So make sure you copy all this import. Then here we have to define our class. This is marked unstable because at the time of me recording this video, this transform video APIs are still bit unstable. That's why we have to mark it something like this. But by the time you watch it, if it is stable, you don't require this particular annotation. Then here we just have to extend from this native transform video spec. Now this is boilerplate code, and here we are also extending transformer.listener. With the help of this, we will be overriding two methods, on completed and on error, which I will show you later on. Then here I have defined our companion object, and again this should be the name of your TypeScript file. So that's what I have done over here. This file name and file path are for saving the file to external storage. Handler and progress holder are for tracking the progress state, and here I have defined a global promise as well. And here we also need to override this get name and pass our name which we have defined over here. Then we override our transform video method which we defined it inside our TypeScript file. Then here on the main thread, we first assign our promise to global promise. Okay, then here we create our transformer. Then this value is actually the image URI of the image which we have selected. We convert it to an image item. Then we just do edited media item dot builder, pass our image item, then set the duration as 3 seconds. You can change the duration to whatever you feel like. Just like I'm passing the image URI, you can also send the duration from React Native side if you want to. Then here I'm just creating our external file, then starting the transformation. Now here is the interesting part. Here I'm just tracking the progress state. So there are two things, progress state as well as actual progress. If you want, you can uncomment this. Now I don't know how to send this back to React Native side. So some of you might be saying that okay, just use the promise which we already have, which we will be using for sending the video URI back. We can't really use promise for this. We have to use event emitter. Now I know how to do it for the old architecture. For the new architecture, they have not provided any docs for this, so I don't know, because this progress state as well as the actual progress will be continuous as long as your video is not been created. Suppose if you select a larger image file and you want the video length to be 1 hour long, then in that case getting the progress would be very necessary. But unfortunately I don't know how to send it back to the React Native side using event emitter in the new architecture. That's why I'm not really doing this, but let me explain it to you. This progress state will be 0, 1 and 2, and this progress holder dot progress will be 0 to 100. but sometimes this progress holder dot progress doesn't reach till 100, it stops at 99. But you will have to look for this progress state. It always becomes 0 once the conversion has finished. So that's a hint to you that okay, the video has finished conversion, and you can stop displaying the progress bar if you want to. But yeah, sorry, I don't know how to send this back using the in new architecture using the event emitter. If you know, do let me know in the comments. And here I have just added a 500 milliseconds delay before we track this progress continuously. But yeah, if you want, you can lower this time, don't keep it at 0. Then this is how we create external file. Again, now I have copy pasted this code from documentation, even I am not really good at this. So yeah, this is how we store it to external file. And now this entire piece of code which you see is for saving the file to external storage. Again, feel free to pause the video and copy it. I'm not really good at this, but yeah, this is the entire piece of code for saving file to external storage. Now, like I mentioned at the start, we are overriding transformer.listener, right? So that's why we are extending, like implementing transformer.listener, so we can override this on completed error. So once the transformation is complete, we save the file to external storage over here, get the URI, and here you can see I'm sending it back to the URI of the saved video back to React Native side, and also displaying a toast message. This is not really necessary. And here is on error as well. So just like I'm sending this URI, if you want to send error message, you can do that as well. I think it would be global promise.reject in that case, and you will have to wrap our code inside try catch on the on click handler of our button. And here is our toast message. So yeah, simple. Now I will simply go through this file again. Feel free to pause the video wherever you feel like and just copy all the code. So yeah, that's it. Now the next thing is, if you see the documentation, they say that we also have to create another Kotlin file called native package, right? So here I have created native transform video package.kt. Now this I have just copied it from the documentation. Only thing which you have to do is change the package name, change the class name, and here everywhere you have to write native transform video module, which we have created over here, right? So here everywhere, rest everything I have just copy pasted it from the documentation, which you can do the same thing. And the last step is we also need to add this inside our main application.kt. so you will have to go to whatever is your test app. In my case it is test app, but in your case whatever is the main package, go to main application.kt. here firstly you will have to add this import. Don't forget this import. Again, this should be your package name, and this should be the file name of native transform video package, or whatever you have named it again. And here you will have to add this particular bit of code. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now you can just run the application and see the output. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye. Sorry, one more thing which I want to clarify is, if you go to native transform video module.kt, and if you have uncommented out this particular line of log.i, make sure you add the import for log as well, and the import for it is import android.util.log. so don't miss out this step in case if you have logged it and if you want to see the logs inside Android Studio. This is not really necessary. Some of you might be interested in seeing the progress bar state inside Android Studio, that's why I have shown it to you, but this is not necessary. You can comment this out as well if you want to. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.